Alright, first order of business. We never took Luke to Asia Archipelago, so let's see what he has to say about, you know, all this. Yeah.
Well, he's not wrong.
I think someone out there is aware that the viruses didn't go down too well. I mean, I can see what the conceit was. I can see what they were going for. They were doing that thing where they were playing the dangerous game of being deliberately bad, and they might have succeeded a little bit too much at that. But yeah. Also, her JRPG floating fish joke. That was inevitable, I think.
You know, I get the feeling that Luke and Trani would get along pretty well.
Yeah, they'd have the opportunity to bond over this theory of water. I don't believe they have any like I took out a lot of different pairs of people trying to see who had lines. I was sure that Luke and Trani would have something. Especially since they're both avatars. But nope. Sure, whatever. I think we might be overthinking that angle. Anyway, I do enjoy how Emily just has a bunch of different TMNT style shoutouts that she varies depending on who else is in the party. It's a good time. Also, I'm a very big fan of how, even though the English dialogue in this game tends to be a little bit careless and wooden, they clearly went to the effort to make sure that all of Emily's TMNT style shoutouts all have the correct meter, and I am contractually obliged to hand it to them for doing that.
This guy's portrait is,
Yeah. You can always tell the backers.
I was gonna say, that is a face.
The real giveaway, besides, you know, the usually dissonant art style, is that they only ever have one facial expression.
What is this dialogue? This is bad even by CrossCode standards.
I don't know what to tell you. I guess this guy just had a lot of feelings about a gang of hillcats literally stealing the Earth out of the Rhombus Square parks. And now we're here to deal with it. Anyway, these guys are, as you can probably tell, being fought entirely at range. They're weak to ice. So let's get used to this toolset for a bit, because it's gonna be tested. You'll note that as part of my tech tree rejiggering, I've managed to activate the double bastion skill, so while we're in ice element, we can guard. At the same time, we can guard in front, to the sides, and behind, and above. All at once. So that's neat. That's a trick.
I feel like that would be neater if we were going to be attacked from multiple directions. It looks an awful lot like we're playing dodgeball here.
Oh yeah, for now that's exactly what's happening. I'm just saying this was an option we could have gone with all along, and it would be very helpful for enemies that attack from above. Anyway, these are the basic variety of the dodgeball cat. They have a little charge-up attack, but it's not really the most notable thing about them.
Wow. That sure happened.
Oh boy. Well, I have a feeling that we are about to see some serious shit. Just a notion. Alright, car chase mission. I am honestly a tiny bit astonished that there wasn't one of these in the original game in Roomba Square. It just seems such an obvious thing to have done. And it's not even like the platforms here are a particularly new, definitively novel layout. It's just some platforms. It's just that the conceit of this changes everything and just makes everything seem about 5 times as cool as it actually is. Would have been a little easy mission design win.
How exactly does one... Oh, okay, I suppose these are... I suppose the cars are filled with dirt. I see.
Yeah. Don't worry, canon is maintained. You are welcome to overthink this one, and it is safe to do so. Anyway, these guys have a new trick. They now have a new attack, which charges up even more slowly, and throws an enormous fireball at you. This will go through your shield, it will mess you up, it will do a lot of damage, and also it will knock you into the road and you'll take even more damage, so I don't recommend trying to eat that. Instead, what you do is you hit them with a charge ball while they're charging up, and that will stun them. Now for some rudimentary but very awesome platforming. These guys have blue bandanas. Statistically, they're all the same kind of Karkat, it's just that there are some varieties. These guys have their own set of attacks. They will throw slow arcing projectiles that will explode on impact. It's a pretty bad idea to be standing anywhere near the splash zone when that goes down. That will end poorly.
I'm really surprised that the different bandana colors don't signify elements.
Yeah.
That seems like that would have been a pretty easy win.
These guys are pretty definitively a fire crowd.
And Lord knows this game loves to color-code its enemies and throw big bunches of them together at once. So it's a little odd that they didn't.
I don't know how much of this, and in how much depth, was designed by Radical Fish, and how much of this and how much depth was designed by the backer, who put themselves as an OC Do Not Steal into the game for the purpose of giving us this quest. The division of labour is a little bit fuzzy. I have to assume that it's not like 100% on either party, which might account for the slight difference between how enemies in this DLC up to this point have been handled regarding elements, and how these guys are.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure that, like, the backer got to largely, like, call the shots in terms of, like, the vague outline of things. But like I said, I am genuinely surprised that Radical Fish did not have... Like, surely they must have had some sort of blanket, like, look, you know, we'll take your idea into consideration, but at the end of the day, we're making the gameplay calls.
Yeah, there would have had to have been some kind of back and forth on the design. I'm just saying it's not entirely clear how much. I mean, obviously you're not going to have the backer do all the balancing, because that's a million and one things that only the developer is even going to be in a position to know in the first place. It's not like a massively horrifying concept for me to say I want to have this kind of a quest, and for you to say, okay, it's going to come in at this point in the game, the enemies are going to be about this strong, you're going to have these attacks. But also, I don't think, like, despite all this, I don't think it's a really big loss that we don't have huge amounts of multi-elemental stuff in this fight.
Oh no, it's just very odd, I guess.
Yeah.
Seems to go against basically everything that Radical Fish has designed so far. Just kind of like it's weird that they did.
I don't know about that. I mean, it's just some elements. We've had single element stuff for the majority of the game. It's only odd in that we're seeing it now at the end when most things are multi-elemental. But well, what are you gonna do? Here's the hill cart. I am astonished they did not spell it with a K. Real missed opportunity there. Anyway, it likes to teleport, and there's a Hillcat riding it who has a very distinctive lab coat and hairstyle. Let's just leave that one, okay? More importantly, he has severely irritating iterations on the standard attacks that we've been seeing from these guys. He can throw a lot of stuff at you in succession. He can throw lines of exploding stuff. It's like, there's a lot of stuff that's going to come at you in this fight. Also, this just barely did not end the phase, but that's alright because his defense outside of break is not 0. In fact, you can actually make a pretty good go of just doing this entire fight just passively. There's no reason you have to stack up all of your damage for the breaks. It doesn't have that much health. It's like, obviously it'll be a lot quicker if you do it properly. But, yeah. Also, certain ice techs are just really unhelpful for this fight. In fact, it's kind of a trap to be using ice at all for the break part. Most techs are as good as any other for actually getting them broken. You probably just want to be sticking to your basic neutral. We've got the hail of bullets. Also, I really wanted to finish him with Gatling Artillery. Like, goddammit, I want to get one good, solid kill with Gatling Artillery just once. I just can't. It's just such a weird skill, and the startup lag on it is too long. I really like what they were going for, but like, man, I tried. Okay, I really tried. Also, yeah, some of these things really do like to mess with the camera. I don't know why they do that. But certain techs, like Frigid Flork and Mjolnir now that I recall, just, if you miss with them, the camera will just fuck off halfway across the map for a split second. And I don't understand why. Anyway, if you can survive, like, literally any amount of this fight, you can probably win the whole thing. It's not, like... This guy's not that threatening once you've mastered the art of not, like, jumping into the road constantly. Or even just become a journeyman at said art. We don't require mastery here. It's plenty doable.
It just kind of looks tedious more than anything.
Yeah, not getting him on the first break in the second phase was an error. Like, using Gatling Artillery was an error. Should have just used Ether Snipe again. But no, had to be Flash. When will I learn? Don't answer that. Okay then.
that sure was a quest that happened.
Wasn't it? I find it a little notable that they make such a point of having Lear be all, like, stricken and admiring anytime a backer talks for any amount of time. I mean, it's plainly obvious why they did that, but what are you gonna do? Anyway, remember custom cups in the arena? What's that? No, you don't remember custom cups because there weren't any, because they were never implemented? Ah, well, that's too bad. In the DLC, however, we do actually finally get to play some custom cups. Now, I do mean some. There are not a lot, and they're all special cases. They're all kind of weird. They're not really a very big thing, and most importantly, you can't make your own, because... well, fuck you, that's why not. I don't think they ever intended to make an actual in-game cup building toolkit. I think they just had this idea and they were like, yeah, let's not. Let's just say that we never get to do it. And that's the end of it. On the other hand, we do finally get, like, stuff in these entire 3 pages of the arena shop. Mostly it's equipment and individual extra circuit points. You can spend 6,000 arena coins for an entire 1 circuit point in 1 element. I don't get it.
That seems like it's fairly poor return on investment, shall we say.
Yeah. I mean, you can get an entire 2 pets for that amount of coins, or, you know, a bunch of actual, like, hella endgame equipment. Speaking of coins, you can't earn them from custom cups, and for the time being there is only 1 custom cup. And it's like a debug thing, credited to Alan Smithy. Sure.
See, Sergey is a dork, but I feel like that was unnecessary. You didn't have to go there.
And I guess he forgot to remove that cup later. Anyway, don't get too excited about this. All this actually is allows us to go another round with don't use this. You know, the deliberately bad boss.
And I mean, how could anybody pass up an opportunity for that?
It's not a total loss though, because it does give me an opportunity to demonstrate 1 or 2 things that I didn't demonstrate before, like how you can jump up on this guy like it's Shadow of the Colossus. It's a pretty solid way for getting a couple extra hits in on the break meter. And like that other famous game where you jump on enemies, he will throw you off. Like, there are explosions that go down up there. And there are ways to circumvent those explosions, and they make things get weird. Like, you can use Circle of Valor and you can just stay there. He just keeps on going up. Circle of Valor, by the way, is not nearly as useful in this fight as I'd like, because it just doesn't last long enough. The real winning move is to put a clone up there, though, because if you activate a Toxic Revenant up there, it will hit him a bunch of times. It will do a bunch of damage, and it will, more importantly, possibly, it'll just give you a couple seconds of peace. Also, if you time it right, you can keep the Circle of Valor going on more or less indefinitely, and he will just rise up and up and up off the top of the screen. You can keep this going literally indefinitely if you want. But its utility is ultimately limited on that note. But yeah.
This is a lot of stuff that is cool, I guess, but other than making good use of Toxic Revenant up there, it seems like a lot of, like, you know, okay, you can do this, but
yeah,
why would you ever do it?
It's just neat that it's there. Also, I didn't get a chance to show it off because it turns out it's not actually very helpful, but yes, as one commenter observed, you can in fact hit him in the air using Eternal Winter, but it's really difficult to do, and does not accomplish very much. But it's very satisfying. Also, what's that? What was that? Ultra secret what now? This is the only time in any arena engagement that we get a straight up prize for clearing something, so I guess that's notable. Probably has to do with this thing being a secret test cup. The note references a waterfall in a glitchy area, which... that's not very cryptic, is it? That said, there are quite a few waterfalls here, so you might have to actually search a little bit.
So which of these pits do we cast ourselves in?
Regrettably, we do not cast ourselves into a pit. There are, however, some secret floating platforms, and a pizza box, I guess. I honestly feel like the tags here were unnecessary. These things have already got bright, glowing particle effects on them. Anyway, here's an ascended version of the Lunatic Paws, now with UU technology.
Thanks, I hate it.
It was ultimately necessary because the Lunatic Paws are supposed to be a unique endgame equipment around which you can design stuff. Like, there's literally only one other piece of equipment in the game that has momentum on it, and it's like level 20 something. I don't see the fuss with momentum. It's like, the percentage appears to be pretty literal. It gives you something like a 15 or 20% boost to your attack power after doing several dashes, and I don't understand why that's worth it. And also it gives you a huge penalty to how many hits you can take before your guard gets broken. I don't understand it at all. On the other hand, I stayed in the arena for a while and I got a couple tens of thousands of coins, so I bought some new equipment and some new pets. So now Homestead will get a little bit more lively. Also, I bought and upgraded the Killing Dress, which is a great alternative take on if you want to do a pure focus build. It's very good for that. It has more focus on it for certain than the Life Fiber Dress, but on the other hand it does not have that SP regen, so I would not be as much of a skill point battery using that thing, so I stuck with the Life Fiber Dress. Let's have our final showdown. Something I would have liked to see is Apollo just briefly reactivating his original account for our final showdown, but whatever. Also, what was that one player doing?
Yeah, that does seem like a missed opportunity to have, like, Apollo's real account come out.
Ah, but I guess ultimately it doesn't matter. It's still an endgame Spheromancer and it's still the same guy controlling it. Ah well. Apollo Duel 4, he means fucking business. Like, let me tell you, this is an encounter and a half. He goes immediately to more or less full power, he uses all the techs and all the elements, and he really, really likes dodging. Like, you're not gonna land anything worth a damn on him unless you're doing it as part of a counter-attack, because his stock response to more or less anything you do is to just leap halfway across the map. Also, he can break out guard arts whenever he wants now. That's a problem. And this is a double KO. I did not know that this was possible. In fact, it is not possible. It actually kind of glitches the proceedings out a little bit. You'll notice that Apollo's only gotten half of his health back, and we've gotten our full health, I think. I think we got him first, and then he got us. So we each got a point, except the game does not acknowledge the possibility of a double KO, so things got really very weird there. Oh well. Anyway, he still gets vulnerable after using big techs and running out of SP, but only for like an entire second. So you gotta be fully on the ball to take advantage of this. Also, it is really, really difficult to hit him with Ether Snipe. The standard way to do that is to like get a perfect guard on him that stuns him for a bit. But if you're really on the ball, or you get really lucky, you can hit him out of it while he's just moving. Really, the headline here is that he's got guard arts, and he can just decide, no, fuck you, you're getting countered on this. You can't tell when he has his guard up, but you can tell when his guard goes down, because you'll get a little pop-up that just says trap end. But you don't get a notification that it's gone up. So basically just never attack him while he's in thunder mode. Oh, almost. Almost got me with that one. He's still annoyingly fast, even when stunned. You're not going to get a Blizzard Hawk on him most of the time. And like, how did he get out of that? Cannot believe he got out of that. This is what I mean, right? It's like, he's on the ropes. You've got a tiny bit of health left, we just have to hit him. Like, how hard can this be? Just please take damage. I'm telling you, you've got to work for this. Needless to say, you do not get a freebie counter in this fight. You have to time all of them perfectly anytime you want to get a guard up. Like, you can just try just doing it, and he's like, no. He doesn't even comment on it. You have to actually get him when he's committed to something, and he does not have Shizuka's penchant for very reckless use of Indigo Rush, so... Also, this there is Polar Pirouette. That's the alternative level 3 ice melee, which I will never use. And that was Apollo's own secret strategy being used against him.
Now, does he still say that if you have Sergei's hacks on?
We will find that out.
Oh wow, you think?
So congratulations to everybody who called this one. Or who, depending on interpretation, made it happen. I think it definitely checks out. Like, come on, these two own cats together. There were only so many ways you could make that work. Well, it only took, you know, the entire length of the game and what is essentially a lifelong rivalry, but I guess we finally got Apollo to make a tiny incremental bit of progress. And that's the real victory here.
I suppose?